You are now armed with the knowledge of what the top of your wealth curve looks like, and you have a better understanding of the elements that should make up your future compensation structure, including benefits. Now we'll get into more detail about where you are on your wealth curve. As you go through this, keep in mind that compensation is city-specific in spite of experience, capability, skills, etc. New York and Los Angeles jobs pay more than, say, Houston or Fort Lauderdale. Let's start by understanding the low point of your wealth curve. Perhaps you aren't underpaid right now, yet like most people, you probably feel that you are. Let's find out. The first hard fact to accept is that for most companies to exist, they have to pay employees as little as they can get away with. If a company with 100,000 employees making $5 billion of profit before taxes paid each employee $50,000 per year or more, they would become unprofitable. We have to therefore accept that the managers of the company are charged essentially with paying only as much as they have to attract and retain staff, but remain focused on sustained profitability, and more importantly, growth of profits. Your focus should be on ensuring you know how much profit is actually being made, how many employees there are, and how you get a greater share. The larger the company and the smaller the profits, the less there is to go around. If you've stuck it out in such a company, then you are probably being underpaid against industry competitors who are more profitable or have had more growth. Next, what was your last percentage increase and how does that compare to your company's growth in revenue and profit? Did you get a 5% increase last year whilst your company only grew by 1%? If so, you probably did quite well on the increase. However, if your company is growing by 10, 20, or 50% and your salary increased by only 5%, you probably did not do very well on your increase. If that happens over a few years, you may be well underpaid by now. Is your company in a fast-growing sector, but not growing as fast as the sector? How much slower is your company's growth than that of its competitors? When there's more to go around, you should expect to get more. If you don't, the strategies will help. If no one in your company is seeing the benefits of there being more to go around, then the next strategy we cover is the one for you. Next, you have to consider and be realistic about the scarcity and uniqueness of your skills and experience. Companies are always willing to pay exorbitantly for scarce or mission-critical skills. Currently, the requirement for scarce artificial intelligence skills is driving up salaries for people with these capabilities. Even if you are deeply specialized, you may still be underpaid, especially if you've stayed at the same company for a long time. Next, we'll show you how to benchmark yourself. Lastly, large companies have pay bands, low and high points for salaries per role. Do you know what your pay bands are? What the detailed requirements in each level of each band is and how you stack up? And just because that's the pay band at your company, what about competitors? Do you know what their bands are and how you would stack up there? Are you being underpaid given your experience and capabilities matched to the requirements for each pay band? Now that we've done a bit of a reality check on your current position on your wealth curve, you need to benchmark your role, and through that, your skills and experience. Start externally to get an idea of what the market is like for your role. Search on career sites, LinkedIn, and even talk to recruiters. Then, do some internal digging at your company. Be sure to understand the bandings and the specifics within them. Salary.com is a great resource, and in this case, showing you a wealth curve for specific titles, with a number of criteria to benchmark your role based on historical data. In this example, it's a bell curve where the lowest paid 10% is on the left and the highest paid 10% is on the right. So if you're on the right side of the bell curve, you're doing well, but if on the left, you're below average. If you then search on LinkedIn for current roles with a senior director title, you can get a more up-to-date idea of the salary ranges and benefits available. At SentinelOne, this job was available with a relatively wide salary range, presumably based on experience. This could be a good thing, as it means you can negotiate based on your experience. Benefits, though, seem quite basic for this role. Within the same search, we see a more junior title, but with more benefits, This is from a relatively smaller company, and smaller companies typically have to provide more benefits to attract people away from larger companies. If you are looking to start building stock options into your compensation, then this could be a good next step. The point is that whilst the title is lower, as it doesn't have the senior in it, the value in the benefits could outweigh the title and pay of the first role we looked at. Just to reiterate the point around scarce skills demanding more pay, here's another director-level role, so not senior director, but for artificial intelligence skills where the high point of the banding is 25% higher than the previous senior director role. And this is at Cigna Healthcare, who has 70,000 employees and $6.7 billion of profit in 2022. So lots to go around, with many opportunities. Starting with the title of Senior Director, within 5 minutes you can already see there's a relatively large variance in pay and benefits. Smaller companies tend to offer more benefits, and scarce skills always demand greater pay. In fairness, this example is a very broad search and ignored location and specialty differences. The important thing is that to know if you are underpaid, you have to do the research not just when you are looking for a new role, but every few months. As you do the research to benchmark your role against the industry, pay specific attention to the following 5 things. 1. Experience requirements and how they map to yours. 2. Benefits offered versus the scale of the company. 3. Of course, the compensation on offer and all the elements within it, contracted bonus and stock options, etc. 4. Research different locations to ensure you understand the value of your skills in different cities. It may be worth moving if that's an option. And 5th, be sure to research at least 2 titles up and 1 down from your current title, as the pay, bonuses, and benefits may surprise you. In the next lesson, we'll look at setting salary targets.